everyone, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I had previously done a painting where I did a white base coat and I did a blue flip and drag in the center. And when I stretched it out, the design really went everywhere. It was beautiful, but I kind of wish I had kept the design just in the center. I had too much paint to do that at the time, but that's what I want to try today. I'm going to do a very minimalistic design. I'm going to, I don't know, maybe I'll do a flip cup or a ring pour, maybe some swipes, and just keep the design in the center, maybe stretch it out a little bit. So I'm going to use a lot less paint this time for the center design and see if I can refrain myself from tilting and stretching it all over the canvas. Let's paint. All right, hello everyone. So I'm still doing big canvas work, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to layer just a regular base coat. So I'm using Creative Inspirations Payne's Gray, and I am using my pouring medium, Floetrol GAC 800 and Gloss Medium Varnish. It'll all be listed down below. Then what I wanted to do was use a very minimal amount of color in the middle and flip the cup over, do a little flip and drag, maybe a little ring pour. I have two size cups here, very small amount of paint, and see if I could get kind of a minimalist look in the center. Maybe drag it a little bit up, down, I don't know yet. I'm just gonna play around. But I'm gonna get my base coat on there first. When I'm using thicker paint, I don't normally need to paint the sides, but because I didn't mix this color, I'm okay. If I need to paint the sides a little bit later, I've got it in a bottle. I can do that. It's totally fine. Whoop. Lump of actual paint. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna spread this around. I strained my Floetrol too, and I'm still getting that. I love this Payne's Gray color. Payne's Gray actually comes, each brand has a different kind of Payne's Gray. So some of them are very dark, almost black. Some of them are like a bluer color. This is on the bluer shade, but I really, really like it. So, and then from my last big painting I did, I scraped the table, and I got this beautiful like baby blue color out of it because I used a lot of white and blue. So I'm gonna use that in another painting, I think. There does not have to be much waste when you are doing this. Okay. All right, this is just like my little Loli Veffy scraper that I use. Okay, so now I'm going to tilt this to get everything kind of even here in the center, especially when you're working with thicker paints. If you don't spread the paint out to be more even, it will dry that way when it's thicker. Like you'll see the raised portions. So let me tilt this. I'll tilt towards you first. This is so big, I'm gonna have to use the table to help. It will go. You just have to give it time to like get down there. And you may have to put more on. It may not be perfect the first time around. But there we go, it's getting there. You know, a lot of my bigger work is so hard to do on camera, but then I post the stuff that I do and people are like, where's the video for that one? I'm like, well, you guys would have only seen a piece of it. Shrubbing the sides, getting them covered. I have paint already all over me. I haven't tilted to this side yet. You're gonna wanna look, see if there's any little debris from the paint itself in there. Okay, so this side is pretty much covered well. Now I'm gonna get to these sides. So I'm gonna pour just a little bit more paint along here and along here, just so that it'll run nicely back to me this way. So I'm going to tilt this back this way. If you hook your fingers underneath, I have tape on the back of mine, but if you hook your fingers underneath, you don't have to get the sides as much. Or you can just even put a fingernail there and then just tilt that. There we go. Let's scrape that off right there. That was where I moved that paint, and it just, there we go. Okay, so now just let this all drip down. And as I tilt this a little bit more, the paint will again drip down the sides and kind of even back out. And again, if they don't, you can just paint them. Okay. Now for the fun part. No, I lied. First I'm gonna torch. This first part, I'm going to, I think I'm just going to flip in the center. Okay, so now I'm going to poke my little hole. I should have done this beforehand, but I didn't. That little hole is going to let all the air escape, and see if I just lift it up like that, then it will let me drag this on around. Okay. So now I think I'm going to come in with my ring pour. Just like that. Do I want any more is the question. I feel like I can always, so what I'm trying to do is get my design together now, because when I tilt, it'll stretch that out just a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is kind of, I guess almost like a kind of, I don't know, like a, not like a wreck-a-ring, because I didn't really wreck the ring that was in there. Where else do you think? I feel like right in there. And then I feel like it needs something. Uh-oh, I dripped. Just gonna touch that right there. Maybe right through. Dang it, I keep dripping. Okay. Let's stretch it out a little bit, see what happens. I'm gonna torch it. This does not have silicone, but you could have done this with silicone and you would have created some really cool cells in there. This does have a bar on the back. My hands are a little bit dirty, but I think I may use the bar to tilt this one so that I don't get the sides too much. And again, I'm just trying to I don't want to go off the ends. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be too much paint. Okay. Okay. I feel like a couple more swipes and this might be done. There's some really cool lacing that's happening right here. I'm gonna take my really small knife and kind of finish drawing those lines. Do you think it needs to be stretched anymore? I just can't tell. This almost has like a Gail Burston feel to it. Some type of truck that's outside. This part you can really just I feel like there's an animal somewhere in there. I really do. I feel like maybe this is like one of Gail Burston's fantastical creatures with that eye there. I just wanted to change the composition just a little bit. I wonder, I'm trying to look at it from different angles to see. I just feel like I want one more little swipe through this area right here. This is really, really cool. Okay, I think I am done with this piece. Okay, I had to stand all the way back here, and this is already varnished and in a floating frame, so with my lights, you're gonna get a little bit of a glare, but look at how fun and interesting this is. So I'm gonna take you in for a close-up of the actual design. And doesn't it look like a little creature? So I actually reached out to Gail Burston, who does these kinds of creatures. And I said, Gail, I made something that looks like yours. I didn't even mean to. And she said, Molly, that's great. And we talked a little bit more and we decided that we're going to do some type of collaboration together. And I think it'll probably be later in this month. Now, there's no silicone in this. This just came from me swiping these paints. But how awesome is that? If you turn it horizontal, see, that's the eye of the creature. But if you turn it horizontal, it does look like some kind of bug or something. So I'm going to back away over here. But Gail does some really beautiful artwork as well. I really like her schmears that she does. But there it is. It's in a floating frame. I got that from, I think it's Finer Canvas Works or Finer Artworks. Finer Artworks. They have some affordable priced floater frames. The only issue is that I ordered a bunch of them for my show, and some of them got crushed. But customer service was nice and refunded me my money. But otherwise, they're good. They're plastic. They're like a, let me see if I can do this without shaking too much. But yeah, just really makes that stand out and look nice. Gosh, these big ones are hard to video. Well, I hope you liked this design, something very minimal. I might try this one again, maybe some different colors, maybe a different technique in the middle. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Happy painting. Bye.